Hello, welcome. My name is Carrie Giletto, and I am one of Heartfelt Creations online instructors. And I'm excited today to have you all here with me, and it's a pleasure to have you in my craft room. Today we are going to look at a project that uses the flower that is special for our Floral Friday savings. So that's always a bit of a tongue twister for me to say, but I'm very excited to bring you this card. It utilizes the Summer Garden Collection, which is the Garden Zinnia. So let's go ahead and switch our camera view and take a look at our project today. All right, so here's a beautiful birthday card that we're going to make today, and these are the beautiful garden zinnias. So let's jump right in there and take a look at this collection. The garden zinnias come with 2 stamps and 2 dies, and there is the large garden zinnia and the small garden zinnia. So I love the way they did this because the small garden zinnia gives you 3 sizes of petals, and they're in graduating sizes, and then it gives you the small leaf. Then we have the large garden zinnia, and it gives you a very large focal point flower, which is one larger than this one. But it also gives you the 3 smallest of the petals, and it is smaller than this one. So when you have all of them, it gives you a very wide range of sizes that you can make, because you can put these together to make a very small one, or you can put these together to make a very large one. So it's just great to have that versatility of all the different sizes. And then the large garden zinnia also comes with this larger leaf. So today we're going to be stamping this one and this leaf out of the small garden zinnia, and then we're going to use this 3 of the smallest ones out of the large garden zinnia. So let me go ahead and pull out our ink colors, and we'll take a look at what we're going to be doing. So there we go. So today you're going to stamp twice the 2-petaled one, or the 2-flowered one. You're going to do it twice in T rows. I've only done it once here, but you need to do it twice in order to make our card. Then you also need to do it twice in bright tangelo. And then you also need to do it twice in vibrant fuchsia. So these are the colors of our 3 biggest flowers on our card. Now the 3 little ones down here, I need you to stamp this stamp 3 times. And so that's going to give you 9 total of these little flowers. And you're going to stamp that in the sunflower ink. Then the small leaf that's in the small garden zinnias, you're going to stamp it 4 times in the vivid chartreuse. And that will give us all of our stamped images for this card. So go ahead and take out the sunflower ink and one of your pointed daubers. And what we're going to do is on the center of all the petals, we're going to add yellow, leaving the very tips white and down towards the bottom white. So you can go around like this and do it individually all the way around, or you can get lots of ink on and just make a circle. This is my preferred way of adding the yellow ink, and you're going to do this to every single one of the flowers, even the smaller ones. All right, now for the yellow, the sunflower, the tiny ones down here, you're just going to totally cover those in the sunflower yellow. And I just go back and forth and make circular motions over the whole thing. Whoops. Now we're also going to add a little bit of sunflower color to our leaves. So you notice how there's 3 veins going up these leaves. I want you to take your dauber and run the point through so you're going to turn it sideways and just run the point down, and that's going to get you some ink right on the point. And then we're just going to run that right down between those veins. All right, so you're going to do all your flowers the same way. And now for the flower that is stamped in the tea rose, we're going to take some of that tea rose and we're going to add it right there in the center. And go ahead, whoops, sorry, my daubers are falling apart. You're going to blend that ink right into that sunflower that you put down. And you're going to do that to all the flowers that are stamped in tea rose. Another thing you're going to do with this tea rose while we have it out, you're going to go to the vibrant fuchsia flower, and where you put that yellow, you're going to go over the top of it with the tea rose. Still leaving your tips white and down at the base white. You're just adding tea rose on top of that yellow. Now for our tangelo flower and our tea rose flower, we're not going to do that. All right, so we can set the tea rose aside for now. We're going to come back with our bright tangelo, and just like we did for this one, we're going to go in the centers, blending that tangelo ink up with the yellow, or up with the sunflower. And last but not least, we're going to come in with our vibrant fuchsia and do the same thing. Okay, and making sure to kind of blend that ink up into that sunflower. Such a beautiful blend. All right, last we're going to come in with our vivid chartreuse. And we're going to add some darker down here at the base and then just make our circle come up to the tip. And I'll do it one more time here for this one. Then we're just going to lightly bring that up to the tip, just like this. All right, so once we have this done to all of your stamped images, we'll be ready to do our die cutting. So once you have your die cut, this is one of the vibrant fuchsia pairs. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up a piece of cardboard to do my ink blending on. But for the smaller flowers only, you're going to turn it over. And whatever color that they're stamped in, you're going to add that color to the back. So since this one is stamped in the vibrant fuchsia, we're going to come in with just a little vibrant fuchsia and just brush that on the back. Whoops, just like that. Now, for the large ones, there's no need to do that, only on the small flowers. And you're going to do that to both of the small flowers for each color. So if it's stamped in bright tangelo, you're going to put bright tangelo on the back. If it's stamped in the tea rose, you're going to put the tea rose on the back. All right. Also, while you have your inks out for that, if it's stamped in the bright tangelo, you're going to go around and you're going to put if it's stamped in the vibrant fuchsia, you're going to come around and you're going to put vibrant fuchsia on the tips of every one of the petals that is stamped in vibrant fuchsia. And so that's large and small. And I like to make those tips really dark and get that blended in with that beautiful yellow and tea rose color that we have on the tips, or on the centers. All right, so this is what you're going to have when you're done with the vibrant fuchsias. All right, so in the same way, you're going to come in. This one is one of the ones stamped in tea rose. And you're going to come in with that tea rose and just do all those tips. And the same with the ones in bright tangelo. You're just going to go ahead and add the bright tangelo to the tips. All right, so in all the collections that come with two stamp sets, a large and a small, it also comes with a large shaping mold for the zinnias and a small shaping mold for the zinnias, and they coordinate with the stamp sets. So that's something to watch for if you're only going to get one or the other, to make sure you get the proper mold. But of course, if you get the whole collection, then you'll be able to make all the different sizes. So here are our two molds. This is the large, and we're going to start with the small. So for every single one of the flowers that are this size, regardless of what color they're stamped in, we're going to put those in the mold face down. Then for all of the flowers that are this size, we're going to put those through the mold, regardless of their color. We're going to put those through face up. And all of our leaves, we're going to put in face down. So that's how we're going to mold every single one of the flowers. Now, for the large mold, the only one we used was this tiny flower over here. And for 3 of the tiny flowers, you should have 9 of them. For 3 of them, you're going to put them in face up. Then for the other 6, you're going to run them through face down. All right, now that we're at this point, when they come out of the mold, you'll see here how these petals are arched this way because we ran those through that direction. Then this one, if you can see, the petals are cupped. It's a little hard to see, but when you run those through, you'll be able to notice which one's the look that we're going for. So instead of doing glitter, I decided this time I would make my flowers really shiny. So I took the 3D crystal lacquer, and this is just a regular acrylic block, and I squirt a little bit of crystal lacquer on there. And this is the 3D crystal lacquer, and this is one way to add shine to your projects. Then I just took a regular acrylic paintbrush, and I dip it in my crystal lacquer, and I'm just going to paint all the petals of all my flowers. Now, it does take this just a little bit to dry, so you do have to set them aside. And I did the ones that are shaped this way, I brushed those all with crystal lacquer also. And then I also took our leaves and just the tips. No need to do the whole leaf, but about halfway up, go ahead and brush that with your shiny 3D lacquer. Now, I like to keep my paintbrush that I use for this, I like to keep it in water for quite a while, and then sometimes I go run that under the faucet in the sink just to wash those bristles out. Otherwise, they will get hard and dry together. Now, for our block, you can just take a baby wipe and wipe off any excess, and it is good as new and good for stamping again. Okay, now for our shiny petals, we'll just set those aside to dry for a few moments. And we're going to move on to the next step. So once your petals are dry, when you have these smaller ones, I want you to get out your largest golf tool, and we're going to make our petals look like this. So I call that cupping the petals. And the way I do that is I hold each petal in my fingers, and I just press down, turning that like that, and that gives each petal that tight cup. And you're going to do this to every single one of the flowers that are this size in all 3 colors. All right. Well, I hope everyone's having a lovely Saturday today. Is it a nice day where you are? Here we go. So now you'll have 2 for each flower that looks like this. We can set those aside. Now remember, there were 3 of the little yellow ones that we ran through the mold face up. The ones that were faced up, we're going to do this same technique to, all the way around. So you'll have 3 of them that look like this. The other 6, we're gonna mold those a different way, or shape those a different way. So quickly go around. I got a little bit of crystal lacquer on my fingers, so each petal is wanting to stick to my finger. There we go. So once we have them all made like this, and like I said, you'll do this to all the colors, we're going to go ahead and get out our shaping mat and our stylus. And those come from our deluxe flower shaping kit. This is a must-have. If you're new to Heartfelt Creation and you're just starting out and wondering what kind of tools you need to get started making flowers, this is a must-have. So we use this for just about every project we make. All right, so you get your stylus and your shaping mat, and for both of these, you're going to put it on your mat and just run around the center of the flower like this, and that's going to make those petals pop up. And you're going to do that to both of them. And you're also going to do it to this one right here. All right, so while we have our shaping mat out, I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're going to do with the largest petals, or the larger flowers. So we have two large flowers. This is exactly how they come out of the mold. So one of them we're going to leave just the way it comes out of the mold. So that one's ready to go. But for the other one, we're going to run our stylus around that center a few times, getting those to pop up. So I'll turn that on the side so that you can see the difference. See the difference on how that's shaped? And all of those are ready to put the flower together. Now for this one, this is going to be, you have 6 that are like this. We're going to shape those like the following. You're going to take your stylus and each of the petals out towards the tip, you're just going to press down. Then turn it over and run your stylus around the middle. And this gives you a nice little supportive flower that's going to go in beside our large zinnias. All right, so do that to all of the flowers, regardless of color. The ones we did here are the vibrant fuchsia, but you're going to do all of them the same. And from here, we're going to go ahead and construct our zinnia. So this one that we didn't shape at all, that one's going to go on the bottom. And I'm going to do this with just my dry as clear glue. You can use hot glue to do this. And when I put this one on, I want to offset the petals. If you use hot glue to do this, you can get even more lift between your 2 layers by adding a nice big dollop of hot glue and letting it sit for just a few seconds before you put your next layer on. And when you put that layer on, don't press it all the way down, and that'll give you some good lift between the 2 layers. But because I didn't shape this one and I did shape that one, that gives me enough lift for the look that I'm going for. Now we're going to go ahead and put in the next layer. And we'll put in the next one here, and we'll offset those petals just like we did on the larger ones. Sometimes I like to take my stylus just to hold down to press that glue. And to finish it off, we're going to take our little yellow ones that we shaped like this and put in the center. All right. Now, for the final touches on these flowers, just the large zinnias, I'm going to bring in my orange juice prills. So I'm going to do this with my dry as clear glue. I'm going to make a nice circular dollop of glue inside. And I'm just going to do this in my little cup here. And I'll sprinkle in a few prills. Give it a nice light tap with the spoon. And then we'll dump that off. And there we go. We've got a nice large shaped zinnia. All right, now to finish off our little flowers, we're going to come in with the Nouveau Crystal Drops in Dandelion, and we're just going to squirt a little of that in the center of each of these smaller flowers. There we go. Now the Nouveau Drops you can purchase on the Heartfelt website, and they are a nice alternative to prills or stamens to just give a little center to the flower without drawing much attention to it, because these are just kind of supportive flowers, so I didn't want them to really compete. If I had put orange or something like that in there, it would have stood out more, and I wanted this to be the star of the show. All right, so here I have my other 2 flowers. I've got my tea rose and my bright tangelo and my vibrant fuchsia, as well as 4 of my little yellow flowers. And then I also have 4 of the leaves here. And this is what we're going to need to finish off our card. So we're going to set these aside for a moment and go ahead and start doing our die cutting. Now, to get the look I wanted on this card, I had to go to 3 different sets. So the first one is the Stairway Garden, and in the Stairway Garden, we're going to use this piece right here. And we're going to cut this piece out of white. All right, so that's going to give you this right here. You're just going to cut that out of white. And then we went to the Courtyard Elegance. And for the Courtyard Elegance die, this is one of my favorites. This is such a beautiful die set. We're going to use a few of these. Now in this die, there are actually two rectangles that do the outline. We're going to take the inner. So the smaller of the two squares, the smaller one is the one we're going to use for this project. We're not going to use the larger one. Then we're also going to use this beautiful lattice work. You can go ahead and pull that out. And we're also going to use this large circle. So you can go ahead and pull that out, but we're not going to die cut with this yet. So you can lay it aside. So you're going to, whoops, got them tangled up. We're going to take these two right here, and you're going to cut that out of some deluxe gold. Ooh, isn't that a beautiful die cut? Oh, the deluxe gold just die cuts so beautifully. The deluxe gold that Heartfelt carries is actually almost like a poster board quality on the back side. So you're able to make these beautiful die cuts, but yet they're still sturdy and you're able to work with them. It's just a lovely paper. So we're going to go ahead, and this piece is out of this die right here. And then in your paper pad, we're going to be using sheets 4B and sheet 8B. And sheet 4B, you're going to go ahead and cut with this inner piece, the same one we used on this, we're going to use again. And we'll have one of these. So what I want you to do is to go ahead and glue these together. Whoops. And I'm just going to temporarily, but I want you to use your dry clear glue and glue these together. Okay, so once you get them all glued together like this, that's when I want you to take this circle and you're going to run this through your die cut machine like this. All right, and that's going to cut out this circle so that all of your layers have the exact same circle in the middle. If you try to cut it out individually, when you go to line it up, it's very highly likely that the circle won't be exactly the same in every single piece. So once you die cut that, you're going to have something that looks like this with a perfectly circle, and I want you to go ahead and add some foam tape on the back of this piece. Once that's done, you can go ahead and set that aside. Now your green sheet of paper, which was the 8B, I want you to go ahead and cut a white card base to 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. So that's what I have right here. And then cut your green piece to 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. Now once you have that done, I want you to go ahead and your beautiful frame here that you just made, we're going to add that onto our card base. Now yesterday I was reaching in my refrigerator and I accidentally jammed my thumb into the shelf above what I was going for, and it totally ripped my nail. And I never knew how hard it was to take this paper off without a fingernail on the hand that I used. So I'm trying to, there we go, I got lucky. Okay. All right, so now that we have it like this, we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to try to keep my head out and still get it on here somewhat straight. Go ahead and center that right on the front of our card, just like that. Ooh, it's coming together nice. All right, so the last die set that we're going to go for to complete our card is the beautiful French Courtyard. Now this is a fairly new die. It just came out, a few months ago, maybe just 1 month ago. And the pieces that we're going to use from this are these two medallions right here. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite die sets. It is so fun. So we're going to pull out these pieces right here. And there's actually 4 pieces total. There's the outer ring, the pretty happy birthday words, the inner ring, and this beautiful medallion. So all of these pieces, just like this, you're going to cut out of deluxe gold. And that is going to give you these pieces right here. Now we're going to take out the 2 decorative pieces, and you're going to cut this out of white. And that is going to give you this nice white ring right here. Now we're going to take this one away, and we're going to cut this one out of our patterned paper. And that's going to give you this circle right here. So now all we have to do is construct our birthday sign, and we're going to do that with our Dries Clear glue by just, we're going to glue this pretty gold happy birthday to our white background that we made for it. And I like to do it just by pressing that down. Now once you get this all together, you can go ahead and put some foam tape on the back. Mine's not wanting to stay. Might not have gotten. Now if you happen to get glue onto your gold, you can take a baby wipe and just wipe that off, or you can take a little Gooby Gone and rub that with a little cotton swab onto the gold, and that's going to give it its shine right back. I'll take that glue off of there. I may not get all these little papers torn off. I might just get a couple on either side. There we go. That'll be enough for me. Now, find the top of your card and see this word happy birthday. I didn't put happy birthday completely straight up and down like this. I angled it just a little bit. So before I put that down, I'm going to show you my original. And you can see my banner. I wanted my banner to go across at an angle. So that's why I put the happy birthday at a little bit angled in there. Now, if you wanted your banner to go straight across, then it's totally fine to put that in straight. All right, so we'll take our little happy birthday, try to get that in there in the center. There we go. Now we're going to take our beautiful little medallion, and we're going to glue it down to this patterned circle. And now we're not going to pop this one up, so no foam on the back of this one. We're just going to go ahead and let that rest down inside this circle. So the only thing we kind of need to be careful here is to make sure we get our design going up and down. And if it is a little crooked, I suppose it wouldn't matter. Our banner's going to cover it up a little bit, but I did try to keep that as straight up and down as I could. All right, look at that beautiful card panel we just made. Give me some hearts if you're loving the way these 2 dies work together. These 3 die sets, didn't they work together beautifully? I'm really pleased with the way that turned out. All right, so if you have a hot glue gun, now is a good time to go ahead and get that heating up, because we are ready to add our flowers. So when I first was designing this card, I had the leaves sticking out like this, and for some reason I just wasn't happy. I felt like it covered up way too much of my beautiful card base here that I made. So I decided to do it like this, where I added just a little bit of glue onto my leaf, and then I added my flower. So you see where it's just a tip of it showing. And on this one I did that again. For this one, I actually had 2. There we go. And then from there, I added a large dollop of glue, and I placed this one right up here in this corner. I thought this track right here that we made would be great for a penny slider someday. I might have to try that. So I did the same thing with my bright tangelo and my tea rose flowers. I went ahead and added the leaves first. Usually I put my flowers down on the card and then I tuck my leaves in, but I just wasn't having any luck liking where I was putting it, doing it that way, so I switched gears and I happen to like this better. So, all right. So I place these just up so they don't cover up my words here, but they're off on this corner. And I kind of shove these together so that their petals were meshed together there. And to finish off my flowers, I just came in with our pretty little yellow ones. And they're just kind of some supporting flowers. And I'm going to tuck those just in here next to the others. I think I want this one up here this time. All right, so my final thing, just to finish this card off, is our sentiment. Now, the sentiment set, I chose the Let's Celebrate from the Celebrate Love sentiments. So it says, Happy Birthday, Let's Celebrate. There's several others in this stamp set that would work for this card. And then for any of you that has watched my videos before, you know that this is one of my all-time favorite dies. This comes from a set called the Arrows and Banners. I don't even put this die away. I leave it on my desk all the time because I use it that often. So this is another must-have in my opinion. So I went ahead and stamped the Let's Celebrate onto the flower shaping paper. And in this die, I put it about right here on the die. So maybe off to the right. And I did the little trick to give it some curl. I put my thumb on this end and then my finger here, and I pushed down with my thumb and pulled up with my finger. All right, and that gave it this start of a little shape. Do you see that? Basically, right where the Celebrate is, there's a hill. And I just did that with my finger and my thumb. Next, I came in with my stylus, and this pink section of the stylus, I put this right up against the larger end, and I took those 2 points and curved them around and just curled that in all the way up to where it said Let's Celebrate. You see that? And then I let that go. Then I came down on this end and pretty much I just curled the 2 points up. Okay, so there I look like I have a fun furled banner. You see that? I'm holding it to the side so you can kind of see that shape that I put in there. And you can manipulate that to make it tighter or less depending on how it's going to fit across your card. Now, where these two decorative little designs are, that's where I put my banner. So I'm going to go ahead with my hot glue and I'm just going to put a little bit right there, and I'm going to put a little bit right here, and I'm going to put that in its spot. All right, there we go. There's our beautiful, very summery garden zinnia birthday card. I just love the way this project came together. If you're liking it, do give me some thumbs up or some hearts. If you did not pick up the garden zinnias when they originally were launched, this is a great time to add them to your collection. You can find those over on the Heartfelt website for 10% off between July 1st and July 3rd. So you do want to hurry over and do that before the weekend is out. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera back. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a great time creating this project with you. I hope you enjoyed making a garden zinnia. If you are an insider member, you have access to a garden zinnia class that Emma Lou did back when this launched, where she shows you how to make several different versions of the zinnia. It's a really great class. So if you're an insider member, you already have access to that class. If you're not an insider member, but you have the zinnia, you might want to look into the membership so that you can have access to all of our online classes. The membership also comes with a 20% off of everything you purchase. It comes with free shipping and handling, and then one of my favorite perks is you get early access to every new release. So that's some fun things, but we'll put that link in the comments so that you can check that out. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.